or they try to.
Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Business Virgin. We're sitting here with Dave Fiola of the Town Planner Calendar out in Somerset County. My name is Jim Wells. I'm sitting here with Brad Hilbert, president of Three Rivers Wealth Management. And so, in our third segment, we're looking to get into what is 2011 going to have in store for you? What's your marketing plan? And you got until November to get this all together for print. So.
Yeah, nothing like, just turning that pressure flame up a little bit more. But, basically the plan for 2011 is the same as it was for 2010. I just got to knock on the doors. What's unique about the town planner going into these I have two new areas I'm going to go into, is they've never heard of us before. It's never been published before in those areas, so they don't know anything about us. So the best thing that I did in 2010 was just going into the business and sticking my hand out, introducing myself, telling them I'm a new business owner. I live in the area. So as a local business or local business owner, that matters to people these days, it seems.
Absolutely.
Especially in the Pittsburgh
Western
area.
Pennsylvania area.
I would say very much so in the hidden.
I don't have that accent going on there yet. I don't
either.
I don't have it going.
I have an accent, not the right one.
Not the right one. But yeah, I mean, it matters. And so that's it's the same formula this year as it's going to be as it was last year. Is I knock on the doors, I stick my hand out, I introduce them, I say I got this new thing coming. It's trademarked, it's registered. You've never seen it before.
Is that a good thing? I was listening to you say that they haven't had it before out there. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's good, and I couldn't answer that question that sure.
Yeah.
This time last year.
Yeah.
But I can now, and again, it goes back to what we said in the second segment about the surprises, and as I sat down and talked with businesses, the biggest surprise was how unhappy they were with the type of choices and the value they were getting for the marketing dollar that they were spending. So the fact that this is new, they haven't seen it before, and it's relatable to them, it's relevant to them, it turns out to be a good thing.
One of the other questions I have for you was, as I'm listening to you talk about the growth, and I know you're going to bring out these other
addition
segments and to the other towns. Are you going to still try to do that yourself? Or are you thinking about expanding your sales team?
Oh, I would think I should be able to handle the territory that we own now on my own.
Okay.
If that goes really, really well, then I can bring in my better half and see if we can't make that transition, which is a huge transition. I got a friend of mine that does website design, and his wife still works outside of the house, but I mean, most of the time he's up to his eyeballs and stuff. He's he's good at what he does. I imagine getting to that point before we look, but looking within the family first before we move outside.
Yeah.
On that. No,
I work with my wife.
Yeah.
And how's that going?
Careful. Warning. No, I'm only kidding. It's actually very gratifying. Slept on the couch last night, but everything's going well.
It's a nice couch.
Now, the other piece to it I wanted to ask you about was renewal rate. Does Town Planner sort of have a benchmark on what the renewal rate is? Because you're not having to go out and do all that work with those same people all over again. Hopefully this time around, it's me again, 2012, and they're like, oh, good, here we go. Because we were talking off camera. One lady 3 weeks into the year here has already done more business year to date than she did advertising in the local newspaper all of last year.
Right.
I got to think you're not going to have to really, explain the fee and all that jazz to her.
Right,
again,
right. And I think we'll have some of that. Over the 25 years, they've got a lot of data stored on all kinds of stuff with the calendar. And I was just talking to my typesetter last week. The first year should be the worst renewal rate of any of the years here on out. But so far, I've got some really good feedback from a lot of business owners and commitments of, certainly save me some space for next year. If not, save me some space for next year and get me into one of your new additions because it matters to them. It makes sense to them. It's a trading area for them.
What percentage of the book have you been able to contact for 2012?
Well, I don't know if I have a number for that. I would say when you asked about benchmarks, I would say a really, really good number is 70%. And we've had some publishers hit 70% recently. But if you can go, between 50 and 70, I think you're doing okay. I hope to do better. But it's about relationships. It's about, going and knocking on the doors and talking to these folks and giving them the value, what they understand is value for their money.
Absolutely.
And that's the key.
As we close out the segment, once again, I'm as I'm listening to you, I'm writing notes down. I think the big thing that here's a guy that was never in sales, buys this franchise, and starts banging on doors.
Talk about scary because, like I said, I don't have a sales background. I don't have a sales background.
You did it.
Yeah, he did it. Yeah.
You got out of your comfort box and you went and did it, and you're successful as a result.
It took a while to get out of the car the first time. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
As I'm sitting in front of the business. And I did, I did.
All right, get a hold of Dave at 814-483-9535. We'll be back with Dave, town planner, and we're going to be talking about some of the attributes. I mean, this is probably the tougher segments that we do when we actually ask people what they it's difficult to talk about yourself, but we're going to talk about what some of the attributes you have that you feel have been would have brought you to where you are today. Back with Dave in a few.